War. War never changes.
Hey guys, Demented here, and welcome back to the Cinderella phenomenon. Again, this is one of those games. For some reason, Steam games, for the most part, seem to not want to cooperate with my recording software, so I have to start over there. Anyway, let's get her started. Sorry if it looks like I'm eating anything. I'm still trying to... I just did a little trial video, like foods and stuff, on the other channel. I had like a bunch of stuff, mostly from Korea. There we go. That I was trying for it. So if you guys want to see a challenge video or whatever you want to call it, basically I'm calling it Trying Asian Foods. So, on the other channel. Anyway, hey, I am the only one having a difficult time. Have you tried pairing up with someone? Pairing up? Some of the people in the tavern pair up to assist each other. Two heads are better than one, as they say. It's not a bad idea, but the problem is with her. Who's going to volunteer to pair up with the Ice Princess? She has a point. People may not glare at me anymore, but it does not escape me that I am still disliked. Most of the boarders of the Martian volunteered to help her, remember? And I haven't heard any of them retract their offers. By the way, sorry the last one was cut short. My wife coming in through the door because the kid was throwing a fit and it was like midnight, so I had to go and calm him down. It's only a matter of time. Stop it, Delora. It's your choice, Princess. Pairing up is only a suggestion. Would pairing up with someone really help me break my curse? What if they end up being an annoyance instead? Princess? Excuse me, Princess. I'm sorry for disturbing you, but you've just been staring at your tray and the customer is waiting for his order. Of course. Delora has me helping in ice today. The Martian is unexpectedly busy and they cannot keep us up with all the customers. Oh, excuse me. Stop daydreaming, Demented. Food doesn't deliver itself. I do not need you to tell me that. Hopefully I'm actually in frame this time, because last time it looked like it was a little low. I stretch out on my bed. The stiff mattress does little to soothe my aching muscles. I was on my feet the entire day, struggling to keep up with the steady stream of people that came in on the Martian. I've never seen the Martian so busy. I roll onto my stomach and bury my face in my pillow. My arms and legs protest the movement. Daniel, stop playing with the cabinet, dude. I refuse to live this type of life much longer. I need to break this curse as soon as possible. Why don't you pair up with someone? Pairing up might not be such a bad idea. Well, those two are locked, because I guess I didn't talk to them. Chapter 3, A Change of Pace. I will ask Rod if he will pair up with me. I know we do not have a good relationship. Rod has spared no effort in protecting me. How cruel I have been to his family. See, that's what makes me think you need to pair up with him, because maybe if you can get him to forgive you, that's a perfect good deed right there. But I feel that rectifying whatever mistakes I have made with them might be an easy way to get 3 good deeds. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Demented, didn't I tell you that he didn't want to break his curse? Yes, but that may not be the whole truth. He is still reluctant to break his curse, despite all the advice I have offered him. Perhaps you will be able to encourage him, where I could not. I do not care if he does not want to break his curse. I only need him to help me remedy the supposedly bad things I have done to this family. I believe that will... Oh, my nose. I believe that will be the easiest way to break my curse. But the problem is that I rarely see him here. He is usually at the palace. In order for this arrangement to work, I will need to be in the palace. For one thing, for one, think it's a terrible idea. What if Dolores' voice trailed off? She averts her gaze to the floor, her expression a mixture of anxiety and solemn consideration. What if? What is there something I should know? Both the witch and the fairy just stare at me silently. After a few moments, Murphy speaks. You would be far away from us, Princess. We would not be able to assist you. Witches could be lying in wait for you, knowing that you're the true crown princess of NGL. They might seek to use you for their own purposes. What sorts of purposes? Why would the witches be after me in the first place? Many of them have been corrupted by the Tenebrum. Darkness has invaded their hearts, making them bitter. Many of them simply want to see the fairy tale parishes continue on undisturbed. This is all just speculation, but it's better to be safe than sorry. What would you have me do? What, Daniel? You want one? No? Then soft random seaweed's neck. Delora, I have an idea. I think I can get her into the palace and make sure there's someone there to look out for her. How? Just trust me. Tomorrow the Ice Princess returns to her palace. I have a bad feeling about this. This cannot be happening. Don't dilly-dally. The princess will soon be awake and expecting her new maid. I close my eyes to suppress the urge to groan. How is it that Delora was able to turn me into Angeline's personal maid? She thought this would be funny, didn't she? Or did she? Well, I will make her pay for this. I expect you not to be late again. We have very strict rules on how the palace staff should behave. I am not exactly sure how Delora managed this. She told me she was going to cast a spell on me, and that it would be over as soon as I opened my eyes. I closed my eyes, and sure enough, when I opened them, I found myself here in the maid uniform. What did she do? The maid continues to babble at me. How annoying. I pretend to listen to her as she leads me through the palace hallways. Evangeline and Rod's chambers are located here. Daniel! Ah, you're noisy. Oh? We come to a halt when Evangeline suddenly appears from around the corner. Your Highness. The maid ducks into a neat curtsy. Evangeline's eyes meet mine. I tense as I wait for any signs of recognition from her, but she only... Daniel! I'm gonna make you go out of the room if you don't stop. But she only gives me a curious look, as if wondering who I am. I'm sorry, guys. She clearly does not recognize me. The maid suddenly reaches back and pulls at my shoulder, forcing me into a bow. I don't mind if you play, kid, but don't be so noisy about it. You are in front of the Crown Princess of NGL. Show some respect, girl. My apologies, Your Highness. She is new, and clearly needs to be taught some manners. Excuse me? Oh, please, there is no need for that. What is she trying to achieve by pretending to be kind to a palace maid? Who's she trying to fool? Your Highness, this is your new personal maid. Evangeline glances at the maid, looking confused. Why do I need a personal maid? It is by the king's orders, Princess. Evangeline turns to look at me again. Sorry, I'm addicted to those things. Those seaweed snacks are good to me. My family didn't seem to like them too much, but I did. I loved them. I only got 2 more. What is your name? She's talking to you, girl. I scowl at the maid before facing Evangeline. I cannot believe I have fallen so low that I'm now being ordered around by a maid. Demented. It's nice to meet you, Demented. I hope we can get along. When I do not respond, Evangeline's face falls. I was just heading to breakfast with my family. Of course, Demented will escort you to the dining hall. I raise my eyebrows at the maid, irritated. There is no need for concern. I can get there on my own. I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm not here to babysit her. The maid leans forward and whispers something into my ear. I don't know how it is that you landed this position, but you owe the royal family your diligence and respect. If you continue to show disrespect, I will be having a word with the king. The maid pushes me forward so that I am forced to stand next to Evangeline. Sorry, throwing it away. She will escort you to the dining hall, Your Highness. Her job requires that she follow you everywhere in case you require assistance with anything. But it is almost time for breakfast, Princess Evangeline. Evangeline frowns and looks at me. I'm so sorry. What is she apologizing for? What? Good morning. Good morning. It seems that you have met your personal maid. The king's eyes widen as soon as he spots me. You look familiar. Does he recognize me? I feel a little tremble in my heart as I consider that hope. Are you not the girl that came to the gates before? I did abate with a soundless sigh. He remembers me as the peasant. This is your first time I am meeting you as Evangeline's personal maid. What is your name? Demented. That is a lovely name. We are glad to have you here, Demented. The king gives me a warm smile. The softness of his gaze makes me angry. He never treated me so kindly when he remembered me as his own daughter. Evangeline takes her seat while I walk to stand at the walls beside the other maids and butlers. The door opens and Rod walks inside. He greets the king, Ophelia, and then his sister. He is just about to take his seat when his eyes suddenly fall upon me. Shock is apparent on his face. Rod, is something wrong? I see there's a new maid on the staff. His tone is almost accusatory. I bristle at his words, and I am about to say something when Ophelia speaks. She is Evangeline's new personal maid, Demented. You know what I mean. Rod stares at me for a few moments, his expression unreadable. Eventually, he moves to take his seat. I stand silent and watch the royal family eat their breakfast. The small area is filled with happy conversation. The four of them smile at each other when they speak, and it is easy to see how comfortable they all are with one another. When I was still here, our meals were always so quiet. But everyone looks so happy now. I bite my lip to will the heavy feeling away. Daniel, no! Give that here! He was just trying to eat a tack. Oy, 2-year-olds. That would not have felt good, Daniel. Going in or coming out. Sorry, guys. Rod told me that before, but I did not want to believe him. I turned back to the conversation at hand. We have something very important to discuss with you, Evangeline. Oh? I have brought this up before, but now is the matter more pressing. Is this about... Oh, excuse me. Hiccups. Yes, this is about the ball. Ophelia gives the king a disapproving look. Dear, I know it seems like a strange proposition, but this is a royal tradition. Evangeline is still at a suitable marrying age, and this ball may help her find a suitor. But a husband? Evangeline's cheeks tinted pink. A royal ball for Evangeline? For her to find a husband? I never would have agreed to such a thing. The king would never force me into one because he knew that. I will not force you to marry someone you do not love, Evangeline. Will you agree? Daniel? Want your butt back whipped? Yeah? Kids. We agreed to this ball to uphold tradition. All eligible bachelors will be invited in 4 months' time. You will choose the man you want to court you. I did find my true love through a ball, after all. He glances at Ophelia, who responds with a fond smile. Her expression falls back and is something more worried when she looks at her daughter. But what if I can't choose anyone? We will throw one ball as per tradition. We will not force you into another ball if you do not find a good suitor, but we must uphold traditions at least once. Perhaps this will push you to think more about the future. I will not put any added pressure on you, Evangeline, but I would be happy to see grandchildren before I have to give up my throne. I'm not getting any younger, you know. But Father, I can tell that the king is trying to make light of the situation, but there is an undertone of seriousness. Evangeline eventually sighs, then slowly nods. Sorry guys, that's a text message. Okay. I understand. My gaze shifts to Rod to search for a reaction, but his expression is impassive. No reaction at all. Did he know this was going to happen? But can I really be the princess that the kingdom of Angiel deserves? I feel so unprepared. You are the crown princess of Angiel, you must be confident. Evangeline looks down, looking generally distressed. I'm finished. May I be excused? Sweetheart, you barely touched your food. You may. Evangeline stands up and ducks into a quick curtsy before rushing from the room. I do not move until I feel Rod's glare at me. I realize that I am meant to follow Evangeline. Excuse me. I curtsy and follow after Evangeline. I barely make it a few steps from the dining hall before the door flies open and Rod is rushing after me. What are you doing here? I'll answer him. I am here to break my curse. You expect me to believe that when you have had people offering to help at the Martian? Rod's expression changes, anger clear in his eyes. No, I know why you were really here. What are you talking about? You thought you thought you might take back what is rightfully yours, didn't you? You have no qualms about hurting my family again. You stare at him, nonplussed by his accusations. I carefully quell the simmering anger inside of me. The last thing I want is to be fired before I break my curse. I'm not here to hurt anyone, so stop accusing me of such things. We glare at each other in silence. I had always thought that Rod was closed off and quiet, but his emotions are always blazing in his eyes. He shouldn't be here. Rod steps back, but his gaze is still fierce. I do not have time for this. I'm going to find Evangeline. Why, so you can assault her? No, because it is now my job to attend to her. Excuse me. The last place I expect to find Evangeline is in the throne room. Much to my surprise, I find her standing alone inside, staring up at the throne. Oh. When she turns to face me, she has a guilty expression on her face. I'm sorry. What is she apologizing for? I was very rude earlier, walking out on everyone at breakfast. Evangeline's gazes back at the throne and sighs. Daniel. No. Between him and the mowing, there's a penis down there. Yes, I know that's her. The ties to her dress, but that looks like a penis. Anyway, I'm sure any other girl would be happy to have a ball. I mean, it's like something out of a fairy tale. But she sighs once again and looks down at her clasped hands. You know, this game's actually surprising me. I thought it was going to be girly and everything else. No, it's actually quite interesting. It sounds so perfect in the fairy tales. 3 days is all it takes before everyone's found the true love. But I don't think that's how it works in real life. Do you? I have nothing to say in response when Evangeline turns her beseeching gaze up to me. I don't know how I'm supposed to marry someone I barely even know. Is this really what it means to be the crown princess? Isn't this precisely what you wanted? Excuse me. When your mother married the king, you became a princess. You went from rags to riches overnight. I cannot keep the bitterness from my voice when I speak. Your life is playing out like Cinderella's, is it not? All you are missing are the last slippers, and even then, I am sure the king could arrange for their pair. I cannot understand why you are so unhappy. Neither can I. Evangeline turns away from me, to face the throne once more, and in the sun that streams through the windows, I see something shining on her cheeks. Is she crying? I am so ungrateful. Demented, what would you do? What? If you were in my place, if you became crown princess overnight, would you go through with the ball? For the sake of Angiel's tradition? For the sake of your role? I would never do such a thing, or anything so worthless. The king never brought up the subject with me. He most likely knew I would have refused. Angeline suddenly pats her cheeks and turns to me, a wry smile on her face. I could do with some fresh air. Shall we go to my friend's shop in town? We have only just exited the throne room when Angeline stops short, and I almost bump into her back. Oh. Your Highness, what a pleasant... Sir Mathros abruptly stops to stare at me. Why is Sir Mathros looking at me so intently? Is something the matter, Sir Mathros? No, nothing at all, Your Highness. I'm just amused. Amused? Oh, you haven't met my new maid. This is Demented. Demented? There is something in Sir Mathros' gaze that I do not trust. The silence is stifling, so I curtsy to him. Sir! Charming. Sir Mathros turns his attention back to Evangeline. Where are you off to on this pleasant day? I just went to visit a friend. Make sure you bring your guards with you, Princess. Of course. I wonder what's taking him so long. Evangeline decided to invite Rod to join us on her visit. One of the guards offered to get Rod for her, but he is still yet to return. Another stands with us by the gates, ready to escort us into town. Why does the king even keep these incompetent fools if they cannot find a single person? Maybe we should go look for Rod. But then, what if he gets here as soon as we go searching for him? I sighed. I'll go look for him, you can stay here. But you don't need to run errands for me. She has yet to ask me to do anything. What does she think a maid even does? Sorry. I look at her solemnly, not answering her. Finally she relents. Thank you, Demented. I incline my head just slightly before walking on. I feel like a babysitter. I cannot believe I have to search for Rod. This is only slightly better than being dragged around by that broom. I turn around the corner and nearly bump into someone. I take a few steps back just in time. Princess? I look up in shock. Princess' surprise mirrors my own. Where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. He pauses to stare at my clothing. Why are you wearing a maid's uniform? Fritz, you remember who I am? I would never forget you, Princess Demented. But it does seem like I am the only one who remembers you. What's going on, Princess? The only people who remember me are the witches, fairies, and Fritz, you. I stop when I hear the sound of approaching footsteps. Fritz turns at the sound and then stoops low into a formal bow when he sees Rod. Your Highness? Rod's impassive face twists with annoyance when he sees me. Rod does not even acknowledge Fritz as he walks past him to stop from me. Shouldn't you be attending to my sister? I don't understand. Prince Rod, do you know why the princess is dressed like this? Rod is clearly just as surprised as I am that Fritz remembers me. You recognize her? You remember the princess too? But if you knew, why didn't you say anything when she first went missing? And can someone explain to me why she's attending to Princess Evangeline? This is... Fritz. I cut him off before he can ask any more questions. I feel Rod's gaze on my back as soon as I turn to look at Fritz. No more questions. But Princess, right now I am a palace maid. What? It's a long story. I have no time to explain how. So do not ask. Fritz is clearly discontent. He seems to struggle for a few moments before he finally sighs and nods. Yes, Your Highness. Though it's nice to hear someone speak my title, I will not do. It will not do if Fritz calls me that on accident. It is just demented for now. But I turn to face Ron. Evangeline is waiting. What? The guard could not even deliver a message? Where are you going? Evangeline wants to visit her friend's shop in town, and she wants you to go with us, Rod. Town? Ordinarily, I would not mind Fritz joining us, but right now he might just be an unnecessary company. He may very well give me away. Rod barely wants to speak with me when it is just two of us. I doubt Fritz would make him any more sociable. I'm assuming that accompanying you is not an option at this point. Yes. Fritz looks down for a moment before looking at Rod. I'm sorry to ask this of you, Your Highness, but since she refuses to let me do so, please look after Princess Demented in my place. Ridiculous, I do not need to be coddled. Even if I did, Rod couldn't care less if I'm hurt. I will do my best, Sir Fitzgerald. I cannot tell if he's being genuine or not. Fritz bows to the both of us. Stay safe, Prin. Demented. And you, Your Highness. Rod turns and begins to walk away without another word. Come on. Rod is silent as we make our way back to the palace gates. I am still thinking about what he said to Fritz earlier. Why would Rod agree to Fritz's request? Because he just wanted him to leave? Sorry, I need a drink. Clear my throat. Better. I stare at Rod as he walks back in front of me. Sometimes I cannot figure out what he's thinking. Rod, Demented! Evangeline beams when she catches sight of us. Are you ready? Rod crosses his arms. He does not look happy with his sister. Even though Rod is younger, I cannot help but think that he often sounds like the older of the two. I am busy, Evangeline. I can't keep dropping everything whenever you want to leave the palace. I am sorry, but I just really needed some fresh air today. You can get plenty of fresh air in the palace grounds. I felt I needed to be off the palace grounds. Evangeline's face drops as she looks down at the ground. Rod lets out an exasperated sigh before stepping inside the carriage. Come on. Rod? Just for an hour, okay? Thank you. I soon come to realize that it is easier to walk around town now that everyone has forgotten who I am. The atmosphere around town feels brighter. All the spite for stairs are gone. Princess Evangeline! Oh, how are you doing? Is your wife feeling better? Evangeline has responded to most of the people who know her. She seems to know a good majority of people in town. I hang back as Evangeline speaks with the man. The night escort hovers somewhere nearby, watching for disturbances. We are going to take longer than an hour if she continues like this. I am not going to rush her. Don't you need to return to the palace to continue whatever work it is you were doing? I do have to get back to my studies, but my family always comes first. If this makes Evangeline happy, then I will gladly come with her to town. It's a small thing. Happy? I look more closely at Evangeline. She's smiling, but then she always smiles. I do not understand. She's more at ease talking with the townspeople, sometimes because they don't judge her. Why would she have to worry about about being judged? It is clear that everyone adores her. Evangeline takes the man's hand and hers as she wishes him well. Rod points out the gesture. See that? That's goodness. You could learn something from my sister Demented. Is goodness pretending to be interested in the lives of strangers? Evangeline eventually says her goodbyes before walking toward a familiar store. This is the toy shop I visited with Evangeline and Rod before. I glance at Rod and notice the expression on his face. He seems conflicted. But why? But before I can ask, Rod marches in front of me and decisively pushes open the door. When I enter, Evangeline is already hugging the shop girl, Veronica. Evangeline, you look as beautiful as ever. Oh, please. I look the same. You, on the other hand. Evangeline steps back before nodding, a bright smile on her face. Being in love suits you. When is the wedding? Wedding? She's already engaged? I catch a small movement out of the corner of my eyes and turn to glance at Rod. I notice his fingers clench into a fist before he quickly hides his hand behind his back. Though his expression is impassive as always, I notice a tenseness in his shoulders. Dissimon and I haven't set a date yet, but it should be soon. Would you? Veronica trails off when she notices the rest of us. Hello, Rod. Veronica. I'm just going to call her Veronica. It's easier. His tone is surprisingly static. Last time he was here, I was sure he sounded friendlier. So what can I do? What can I help you with, Evangeline? Looking for another doll? Another doll? But Evangeline's not interested in dolls. Oh no, I'm just here to see you. I can't stay for long since Rod has things to do. Evangeline, I'll wait for you outside. Oh, okay. I know it is my job to follow Evangeline around, but I am not at all interested in hearing her talk to this girl. Does she even want me here? We're going to stay with her, because Rod said to watch her and see how she acts. That is kindness, or friendliness, or whatever. Before I can decide what to do, Evangeline has turned to look at me with a smile. This is Demented. She just started working as my personal maid today. It's not like you to make the maid follow you around. Evangeline's expression quickly becomes apologetic. I'm sorry, Demented. I didn't realize I didn't even ask if you wanted to come with us. I just expected you to tag along. Why is she apologizing? I meant to tend to her regardless of where she is, unless she dismisses me. I'm sure Demented doesn't mind. It's such a beautiful day today, after all. I know, my voice has changed like mid-sentence. Evangeline turns to me and smiles. You don't have to wait with me if you don't want to, Demented. I won't be long. I only wanted to see Veronica for her a bit. Yes, I know it's Virokia or Viroka, something like that, but it's just too hard to say. I haven't been able to see her as often since we've moved. Well, that's to be expected. Princesses shouldn't be associating with the shop girls like me. Veronica has a point. Why does Evangeline insist on this? But you're my best friend. I am still not accustomed to the fact that I can't just visit you every day. Those were the good days when we were still neighbors. I'd still live next to you if I could. Do you remember all those games of tag we used to play together when we were children? Remember how Rod was always lost? Or always lost? The two girls laugh together at the shared memory. I try not to roll my eyes. So they were all childhood friends. Are you sure there's nothing I can help you with? We all turn to the sound of the door, trying to discuss and walks in. Excuse me. One moment. Veronica turns to Evangeline with a guilty expression. It bugs me to read her name like that, but that's just easier. Because I know that's not what it is. I'm so sorry, but I have to take this. No, it's alright. I'll come see you another time. I promise we can talk for as long as you want next time. Evangeline smiles and hugs her friend farewell. I follow closely behind Evangeline as she exits the shop. Rod pushes away from the wall that he'd been leaning against once he noticed us leaving. Ready to go? Evangeline nods with a small smile. The two of us begin to make our way to the palace again. By the time we return to the palace, evening has fallen. I hope we're not late for dinner. The minute the carriage doors open, we are greeted by two familiar faces. Sir Alcester and Sir Mithras stand before us. Princess Evangeline, Prince Rod, I was on my way to look for you when Sir Mithras informed me of your whereabouts. He glares at the knight escort, and the knight shrinks back. Sir Alcester turned sharply to me afterwards, his eyes narrowed. Why is he looking at me like that? It was getting late, and the Queen was worried. I am so sorry. Princess Evangeline, Prince Rod, it is almost time for dinner. Please let me escort you inside. Sir Mithras gestured for them to follow him. I am about to follow after them when Sir Alcester suddenly moves to block my path. His eyes are cold as he opens his mouth to say something, but then closes it and shakes his head. You are dismissed, girl. You may go back to your quarters. But that is an order. His gaze is piercing. Even when I was the princess, I was not able to stand up to that gaze. Yes, sir. Okay, we are going to end it here, because I have no idea how long I've been recording, and it is like 3:30, so there's a few things I need to get done. So anyway, leave a like and subscribe if you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I gotta stop it this way for some reason.